Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffery Combs.
Jeffery Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. This would be episode 1000 or something like that. So welcome to the razor's edge between truth and doubt. And what that really means today is the payoff. This is some of the best content I cover in my 26-year career as a speaker, writer, author, success, dating, and addiction coach. So the razor's edge between truth and doubt. If you're watching this on replay, thank you very much for watching on replay. This goes to my podcast on my website. So if you're here watching, thank you very much. I have a couple of companion books that I'll share some content with you from a book I wrote and then a book that I read frequently. So I'm on here a little early. I'm going to let the Facebook Live populate, and then I'll move into the inspirational portion of today's Facebook Live. It'll be about a 25-minute Facebook Live. Most of my Facebook Lives are 10 minutes. Those are the ones I do at night. I like to keep them short. This is the only call that goes to 20 minutes. This call originally was founded in September of 1999, and it was an afternoon call, a 5 p.m. Eastern Standard call, 2 p.m. Pacific call that I launched in a house right over there about 6 blocks away from me at 208 West North Street. That was my first home I owned. I'm living right here in 989 Oxford Way in beautiful Stockton, California, where the weather routinely is beautiful year-round until the last few years of the term weather modification. So you can figure out what that means. Paige, good to see you. You are first on Facebook Live today. The topic is the razor's edge. It's that thin line. And the razor's edge is applicable in sports, education, in business, in life, in anything you do. Because the razor's edge is the edge between truth and falsehood. It's the edge between doubt and courage. It's that very thin line that you're right there on that edge. It's the difference between good and great, great and exceptional, and it's the difference between your best and being able to take your best to the next level. It's that thin line that if you are skilled at mastering your emotions, you'll be able to step across the razor's edge and live in a place called peace. If you're on the razor's edge, it's virtually a very edgy place that you're living because it's a very sharp place. It's that space. It's like you want to be encouraged at your higher self, but your ego is so anchored in doubt that you spend most of your time in doubt right on that razor's edge. It's the knowing that you're brilliant, but not capitalizing on it. It's holding on to the same set of feelings and circumstances over and over to create the same outcome. It's called the payoff. And on a whiteboard at Millionaire Blueprint, for those of you who are my coaching client, Mary Van Hoy is going to be attending my event in July. I'm now up to 17 committed candidates. I will only take 30, so it tends to fill up at the last minute like so much of life is. But I do a 2-day event called Millionaire Blueprint for coaching clients. And if you're a coaching client, you can attend the event, and there's still openings. It's 2 days with me. It's the only time I speak anymore. For the first 21 years of my career, I spoke 1,042 times, 2 million miles on United. And on today, in 2015, I was in Philadelphia with 266 people. I just looked at the Facebook memories. And so for the last 24 plus years, I've been covering some of the same content. If you go on my Facebook page, you will see that there was a video that I reposted yesterday of a video that I did in 2014. My hair wasn't as silver. It was darker brown. There are a few less age lines, but 14 years ago, I did a video right out in my patio here, and some of that content that I was covering is content I will cover today because I'm that consistent. I go over the same content over and over while continuing to enhance the content that I download and receive from God, and then I'm able to disseminate that to my followers and the people who are looking for the content that I am delivering, people who believe what I believe. So the topic for today's Facebook Live is the razor's edge. Now it's like this. So a straight razor, a straight edge razor blade that you buy that you can scrape a window with. that you can put in there to scrape ice with, that razor's edge, that very sharp edge. That is the edge of doubt that most people live on. And it's that thin because on the other side of doubt is courage, and then on the other side of courage is consciousness, and then in consciousness is where you begin to live the truth. And that you let go of this doesn't make sense. You let go of believing in the political system. You let go of believing a lot of what you believed in because you start to learn the truth. And the truth doesn't set you free. The truth allows you to understand the black and white checkerboard, the black and white checkerboard that the game is played on, so that you can understand how so much of what we've been taught is scripted, so you can let go of your brain fog and you can live your truth in your peace with your God in a relaxed body. But if you're living in doubt, anxiety, you're overwhelmed, you're going to spend a great deal of your time up here occupying space in a place called doubt, procrastination, avoidance, getting ready to get ready. And then you won't have the speed required to be a business owner. I have a trainee here with me for the last couple of days who's training to be on my internet marketing team, and he's also going to be one of my Millionaire Blueprint apprentices. And he just said to me today, he said, 20 years in the military, 4 years in the State Department, 24 years serving our country. He said he's never seen anyone more organized, detailed, systematic, and can accomplish more than I can. He was amazed at the system that I have taught myself and my employees to live in. And it's a system of production. And that system of production, we're not on a razor's edge. We're in very relaxed intensity. We produce results on command. We address all customer service issues immediately. We address all questions, all messages, all of it right now. And so we're not on a razor's edge. We're not in fight or flight. We're not in anxiety, fear, and doubt. We're in the flow. And this didn't happen overnight for me. I'm a recovering drug addict, alcoholic, drug dealer who had absolute rock bottom at 31 years old in Modesto, California, in a drug, alcohol, heroin clinic called Recovery Resources on the outside of a county hospital. I had a roll-up bed, went to my first meeting in a wheelchair, weighing 114 pounds. I was 31 years old, close to dying. 4 days on Demerol, and then another 26 days in that treatment center. And that was my first 30 days of sobriety. That was 35 years ago. So back in that era, I was definitely on that razor's edge. Do I win? Do I lose? Do I live? Do I die? I spent so much time in my head being an addict that I was addicted to being an addict. And so I spent so much time thinking, analyzing, processing, and using alcohol and other substances to take that edge off. But as an addict, you can never drink the edge off. The edge never goes away until you learn let go skills. And so that if you're on that edge for many of you is the edge of procrastination, the edge of avoidance. You're carrying way too much debt, you're under earning, you're underachieving, you're not being compensated what the free market will bear, you're getting ready to get ready, you're telling yourself stories, I can't quit my job, I can't leave this relationship, I can't let go of my kids. I mean, you're in this story. That's the edge you live on. That's the payoff. It keeps you recreating the same situation over and over to fulfill the familiar feelings that keep you doing the same thing over and over. And that's the neurochemical cocktail, cardio cocktail of adrenaline and cortisol. So the thin line is between, for you today, it's between consciousness, it's between awareness, understanding, knowing, and truth, and that's also where trust is. That's where you're able to trust your inner knowing. You trust your inner intuition, and most importantly, you trust yourself. You're letting go of the cause that creates the effect that keep you in the same overwhelmed state. You're letting go of denial, which is a major component. It's a major breakthrough to let go of denial. Denying yourself your highest calling, your highest good. Denying yourself your ability to be your best self. When you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings, then you are letting go. Now this book right here, The Map of Consciousness Explains. This is one of the few books that explains the payoff in detail like I can explain it. So the chapter right here, it's called Transcending the Barriers to Higher Consciousness. So it's right there. Hold on, right there. And so the experiencer is the leading edge of the ego That's what the razor's edge is. There was a movie produced in 1946 that won the Academy Award, I believe, for Best Picture. It won a few other awards, but it was called The Razor's Edge. For those of you who read the book, it was written by Somerset Maugham. He also wrote the book. That's Maugham. He also wrote the book, A Separate Piece. It's about a man who searches for the meaning in life, the meaning of life. Tyrone Power played the original black and white. Clifton Webb had a role in it. It was an amazing movie. It is about a man who goes against the grain. He searches the meaning of life. He walks away from a certain life where he will be very wealthy as a stockbroker in Chicago for his family, but he searches the meaning of life, goes to Chicago, or he leaves Chicago, goes to Europe right after World War I, and eventually ends up in the Himalayas, in the Himalayan Alps, connecting with God in a cliff. It's a very beautiful movie. I highly recommend it. It's called The Razor's Edge. The movie will be self-explanatory once you watch it. And it is the ultimate movie of letting go, the metaphor of letting go. If you haven't grasped what letting go really is, it is I'll say it slow, it's the separation between the feelings and the events that shape them. And then in that space, then you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. This is where you address road rage. This is where you let go of feeling bad for people. This is where you let go of codependent behaviors. This is where you let go of being disappointed and frustrated. This is where you change who and what you attract, this razor's edge. That razor's edge keeps you feeling edgy. That's what it means. The razor's edge is edgy. It means never comfortable, never certain, never at peace, chronically seeking an outside influence, a shiny object, something outside of self to address the low self-esteem. Food, drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling, betting are all a multitude of situations that people hold on to recreate the familiar feeling. Under-earning, underachieving, procrastinating, getting ready to get ready are all components of that razor's edge called the payoff. So these feelings are fostered by what are called repressed feelings. Repressed feelings are the feelings held on to, connected to events that are unresolved. So in a brain fog, codependent mindset, addicted to a set of feelings, the ego will then say, I had a good childhood, or I don't remember my childhood, or my childhood was a blur, or I'm not good with memory, I'm not good with details. And this is or I'm getting dementia, or I'm getting old. And so this is what many people, they will edify this, and they're not able to discern. Discernment comes from this part of the brain. It's called the prefrontal cortex. And that is discernment and the ability to decide. In brain fog and trauma, repressed feelings, that shrinks. That enlarges. And the back of your head is called the hippocampus. That's where memory is. And so if you have memory issues, it's going to be in between here, and then your amygdala is the little pea-sized gland that's the reticular activating system that searches for a familiar feeling, and that's what enlarges. The amygdala enlarges, prefrontal cortex and hippocampus shrink, causing brain fog. You are not crazy. Now, there are industries in America that want you to believe that you have these 3-letter acronym situations that affect you, and then they want you to stand in line for a series of pills that will medicate you, that will give you some instant gratification while they're juggling the pills like this, seducing you into believing that these are going to make you whole, which they don't. What will allow you to be whole is letting go of even the term being whole and learning to be your best self. And that's a one-day-at-a-time proposition and a process. Cannot be accomplished in the analytical left brain. Yeah, but Jeff, that sounds good, but how do I? I have been asked how do I well into the millions of times by people who ask me how do I? And I've asked multiple clients to do your best to finish an hour without saying but. It becomes a rhetorical, analytical reflex that most of the world lives in, and if you do it, it's not your fault. It's a fact, though, that's the out takes you out of consciousness and back into fight or flight. So Kevin's Wood just posted the affirmation I use 24/7, breathe, release, and let go. If you'll use this affirmation frequently, It will empower you because you'll start to remember it. And this will take you out of fight or flight. It becomes an automatic response as you learn to breathe, release, and let go. The razor's edge is an automatic reaction to the stimulus. As you learn to breathe and let go, you're changing the physiology of your body. You're not constricted. You're not in fight or flight. You're not uptight. You're not waiting for conflict. You're not in a position to prove someone wrong. You don't want to be right. You're able to easily and effortlessly let go in a relaxed body because you're beginning to understand the truth. And the truth is you are good enough. The biggest lie that you'll continue to hold on to is that you are not good enough. When you have the ability to separate your feelings from the events that shape them, when you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings, you're beginning to live in your body rather than in an outer body experience. In your body means all functions are facilitating. You're able to quantumly heal yourself. I've been healing myself of ailments through detoxes, cleanses, naturopathic remedies, quantum healers that I'm associated with, chiropractic adjustments, learning how to adjust myself, teaching my body how to let go of lumbar pain, neck pain, back pain, letting go of gut issues, bowel issues, prostate issues, inflammation from inflamed family environments, through muscle testing techniques, through teas, mushroom remedies, and not the psilocybin ones, but the mushrooms that are healing that you can drink. And there's many situations. Turmeric is another great product for inflammation. And then there's a few network marketing companies that have amazing products. There's companies that have great remedies for heavy metal detoxing and other situations that absolutely can take your body into the next level. Let's see, who is here today? Dr. Mary Van Hoy is on today's Facebook Live. Mary is a very skilled healer. Mary is very skilled. She's an eye doctor. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mary. Whatever you call yourself now. But Mary is very skilled with eye remedies, and she's very skilled. She also knows products that can assist you with the physical vision, but your emotional vision is what you would come to me for. Your emotional vision is your ability to have clarity. It's the ability to let go of brain fog. And if you have brain fog, your speech is slowed down. It doesn't mean you have a speech impediment, but it means you think too much, and it inhibits your ability to move conversation along, answer questions, be present, be in the moment. And that's all what the razor's edge is. The razor's edge means you're on this edge, afraid you're going to make a mistake, get in trouble, say the wrong thing, be in conflict, make someone mad at you, reject someone, let someone down. This is the story that the razor's edge holds on to. It's also called the payoff. And when you begin to understand, when you're aware, when you let go, when it's not, see, it doesn't click, you do. There's no it outside of you. People go, when will it click? And well, the answer will be never, because there's no it factor. It's not the it factor. It's the breakthrough factor, which is what this book is right here. The breakthrough factor is that you emotionally let go of the ties that bind, the golden handcuffs, the trauma bonds, the narcissistic perpetrators that were in your life. You become comfortable with who you are. You begin to release the weight. I spoke to a man today that I've coached for 6 years, and he let go of a disempowering relationship, and he released 8 pounds in his first week. And I told him that relationship was the weight of the world that he was carrying. And so he let go of marijuana and a relationship on the same day. Now, this was a big move for my client. He has 8 days of sobriety from marijuana. He let go of a toxic relationship that he seduced himself into staying in because of the guilt he held on to, and then was chronically felt like he was in trouble, and he was in this trauma bond panic pattern, overwhelmed set of feelings. And so he got off the razor's edge and accessed the courage to tell himself the truth, that he no longer could live this lie of this relationship that he was in, and then he would use marijuana to suppress his feelings. And so marijuana was the drug of choice. The relationship, which was the relationship that was lingering from past events, from past trauma, from being hazed and traumatized in grade school, are the events that shape those feelings, also based on a mother who left the family. So he's going to recreate the same situation to fulfill the same set of feelings. And as you begin to understand the cause that creates the effect of why you do what you do, then you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. Then your body begins to reshape itself. Your neck and back pain can begin to go away. Your foot pain, sometimes your vision improves. Your lower lumbar begins to improve because you're not in a condensed body. You're not uptight. You're not shrinking down into your body because you're not good enough. You're able to have full function of your capacities. You're in higher consciousness. You're no longer on the razor's edge. The razor's edge is the addiction to experiencing experience so you can fulfill the feelings of not being good enough, which are doubt. That is the lower self and or the ego that so much of society lives in to fulfill those feelings of underachievement, under-earning, pulling off at the last minute, rescuing yourself or rescuing someone else at the last minute so you can create that neurochemical craving, the cardio cocktail called the razor's edge. My name is Jeffery Combs. I'm the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. I will hit the replay button. This Facebook Live will be available for replay. On Thursday, Beth Blackmore, one of my Canadian clients who I've been her coach for 3 years, who is a certified health coach in Canada. She has an amazing story herself of letting go of 70 pounds. She left a government job in Canada at the start of the pandemic. She stood up to the tyranny of what was happening in her world, and she's a remarkable story. She's going to interview me. I'm also going to ask her questions. If you scroll my Facebook page on the profile, it's going to be 1 o'clock Thursday on Zoom, and she has all the arrangements for that Zoom. You can find there's a flyer. I'll be posting it every day between now and Thursday. So thank you very much for whoever said great content. I appreciate you. Breathe, release, and let go. Have a great afternoon. Good to connect with you today. Goodbye.